Why do most metal castings have a rough surface, whereas injection mold plastic parts usually have a shiny finish? Many metal castings, particularly of iron, are cast in a sand mold. The texture of the sand is transferred to the iron casting. Injection mold plastic parts are made in a mold of precisely machined metal. The only reason they would receive a rough surface finish is if the mold itself wasn't polished correctly. Metal is usually cast in sand, which will give it a rough finish. Metal also has a higher viscosity and shrinks when it's cooled. Plastic is molded into a steel mold at lower temperatures and usually have controlled cooling to make sure the product stays the same size as shape it was molded into. Many castings are made in sand molds that impart the texture of the sand onto the surface of the metal. Injection molds are made from metal, which is either machined or EDM'd to shape, leaving a very smooth surface on the mold. Texture can then be added to the mold through electrochemical etching to impart the rough surfaces you see on some plastic parts. Metal parts can also be injection mold or made in hardened steel molds for die casting, but that is mostly for metals with lower melting points, so that the molds won't be destroyed as the molten metal is forced into the mold. There are machines that do injection molding of aluminum, zinc, or magnesium parts. If the surface of the mold is polished, the part will come out pretty shiny. Mold release lubricants might impact the finish a little bit and need removal with acetone or some other solvent, but for the most part, they come out pretty clean. Often metal parts are sent off for secondary operations, including tumbling, machining. It's impossible to case threaded interiors, anodizing, etc. Iron, bronze, or steel doesn't typically get injection mold, as the temperature of the molten metal to be injected is fairly close to the melting point of the metal used for the dies. Another difference not mentioned is the viscosity of the liquid and turbulence of flow. Plastics are designed to be formed with a viscosity of honey, allowing smooth flow and gradual pressing up against the mold. Pressure can also be more controllably applied, letting you engineer the surface finish better. Metals tend to be cast as fully molten and flow easier than water. This leads to more turbulent flow, mixing, and entrapped gas pockets. All of these hurt surface finish. Crystallization for seating also makes it harder to get shiny as cast surfaces for metals.
Don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss our next exciting video.